Hello, and welcome to the Oracle Report for the month of May 2026. Welcome. I'm so happy that you're tuning in. If it's your first time, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy and receive something beautiful from today. And to those who are returning, thanks for coming back. Um, I hope April went well for you. There are a couple of tricky energies, I think. So, yeah, I hope you were able to navigate them in a aligned way. So, yeah, if it's your first time here, um, I come on here about towards the end of the month, every month, and share with you different messages that have come through for the collective. And all of these messages are offered in service to your highest good to help you navigate in the month ahead. This month, I'm a little on the late side. So it was really full for me. So, yeah, I'm recording on May 3rd, and I hope I have this out pretty quickly for you. But yeah, so these messages that I gather for the collective have come through a couple of different channels. One is channeling. Another place is dreams. Sometimes I get different messages in dreams, or even there are collective threads coming through in dreams of those around me or those studying dream medicine in my field. Um, Sometimes it's through little pieces of astrology, and other times there are themes that might come through from readings that I feel the guides are really highlighting as a growing energy to be aware of and witnessing in the upcoming month. So, all of these are collective wisdoms. So, in that sense, they apply to us all in different ways. Some of them might feel really resonant with you, and others might not so much. And that's fine. It's like receive whatever resonates, whatever supports you, whatever falls through or comes through your filter of truth and lands for you, take it and allow it to help support you in the month ahead. Um, and I say that too is like be open-minded, be open-hearted, because there might be certain ways that messages want to support, want to reach you, and don't close the door immediately if it doesn't seem to be on track or resonate. It might even be supportive of you understanding what someone else is going through in the month, or really apply in a interesting, creative way. So all of these messages they're from spirit, so they're from the language of energy rather than just this kind of linear and step-by-step logical understanding. They come from this extra dimensional reality, using the language of energy, which is multi-dimensional, multi-layered. It's not that kind of one track linear. So in that sense, sometimes you might be really surprised if you allow yourself to be open to different possibilities of different ways of receiving the messages, how they might land for you. And sometimes they have many applications too, or meanings. And yeah, sometimes too, it's just a little bit, all of it's good. So I start every Oracle report by pulling a card for the collective. And then I share some of the different messages and themes and wisdoms that have come forward. So today we're working with the Healing Waters Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. So beautiful. Um, this deck seemed to align well to one particular message that was coming through this month of soothing, and bringing in kind of some of the waters to support us. So without further ado, let's pick a card for the collective. Upside down. Okay, jumpy. Lovely. Clear waters, clear vision, confirmation, right timing, opportunity. Hmm, beautiful little picture there. So I'll read just the first bit, and then I always take a picture to share the full description. These ones are shorter, but it's still nice sometimes to be able to kind of sit with and reflect and see what stands out to you in your own time. So you can find that on my Instagram and also in the Sacred Lights portal. So if you're in Sacred Lights, this video is posted there as well. I will post the card pictures and descriptions there. Okay, so clear waters, clear vision, confirmation, right timing, opportunity. Everything's coming together and supporting you right now. Potency is present. Alignment has arrived. Potential is here. The waters before you are crystal clear, and what you're stepping into is of the highest potency. You know the way forward. There are clear seas ahead. Keep facing your true north and proceed onward. This is a wonderful card with a very positive message. It suggests that something's come into your life that is a great big yes, or you've been working on bringing things into alignment and are stepping into that now. A creative project, a new relationship, a new home, a new phase of life. Whatever it is you've been manifesting or longing for, it seems that you're clear about what you want and it's coming to fruition. Ah, okay. So I'll pause there. Yeah, that's really sweet. That's a nice one. Um, yeah, and particularly this understanding about finding your truth. That was definitely a theme this month, like finding your clarity and creating a space for that to come through, especially with like the waters of ourselves. So whether that's like diving into our unconscious or subconscious, which is connected to the waters, and our hearts, our emotion, and really finding that clarity was one really important message this month. And there are maybe some others that weave into opportunity, for example, that seemed to be showing up this month in terms of, I guess I'll just dive right into it. One of the first things that was coming through was about a lot of action potential in May. You might be like physically moving around a lot or going somewhere or just doing a lot of things. It could be quite a bit happening. And um, what is moving in the action is more likely to be joyful or positive or opportunity based, as this card would have suggested. Like there's like a movement, an energetic movement that's happening. And, but there are also potential ways that this energy could get sticky or maybe not in our highest good. And that would be if we were kind of getting ramped up in action where it was just like too much action happening, too much doing, and not enough beingness. So there was definitely a message this month that came with this of taking care of our nervous system and to make sure that we give ourselves enough space to come into calm, to come into presence, and taking time out to rest. And the interesting thing about this month, because that message, I mean, it can be true all the time, pretty much. And I know it's definitely come through in other months, like, hey, pay attention to taking some time out to rest, take care of your nervous system. Um, but this month, there's this understanding that's coming forward about balancing that with right action and kind of moving forward into the world with our truth or taking some kind of like step even. So there might be some way that we're even stepping over a threshold, kind of like the card was suggesting, like yeah, you're stepping into something that's like a high potency, and you might be it's like a new career opportunity, new relationship, or a creative project, or a new home, or a new phase of life. There's something that it's like we're stepping into. And this aligns really well with the month of May and Beltane and spring. There is that kind of co-creative and birthing and new vibrancy in a positive way that is available to us right now with that energetic of the seasons here in the northern hemisphere anyway. Um, so yeah, but this like interesting message this month of balancing the rest and the taking time out and making sure you're staying calm and you're not getting in like whipped up in overaction, and at the same time taking the actions and trusting yourself and kind of jumping in a little bit and letting go of that hesitancy, seeing what might be in the way of you taking that aligned and right action, the clear action. So we're kind of like working with both aspects, and this makes sense too, to me in my understanding of Beltane, because we're bringing together the forces of like action and non-action, being and doing, masculine and feminine. There, this time of year is like we kind of celebrate that divine union of those two aspects of both creation and our beingness here and on earth in particular, and the way that like the divine union of our masculine and feminine, of our beingness and doingness, of our body and our spirit, and the co-creative forces that come together, and the union of that, and how do we find the right balance for us. And there's some extra attention to that and some extra energy we have available that can be used in a really positive way. And some of the guidance around this was tuning in to our right kind of recipe, or like amounts of the different polarities of action or non-action, of taking time out or courageous heart-centered action. How is it most in balance for you? And not just looking at the month ahead or right now, but looking into the future a little bit. um, but there was some caution to be careful with looking into the future, because it's really important with this energetic, as it was shared, to stay pretty present and not kind of project too much about what's happening in the future, and more come into a sense of like present divine co-creation right in this moment, while at the same time looking at the future a little bit, so that you're creating from a foundation of co-creation and a relationship with the divine that is like sustainable, you know. So not looking into the future of like, I have to know everything that's going to happen so that I can feel safe and so that it will play out, and or so that, you know, it's like I'm going to control every aspect of this. Not quite that. But looking forward to the future and saying, okay, is the energetic that I'm building right now, is this relationship that I'm building right now, is this like something with my career or business, or my family, that feels like, where is that new fresh energy coming to, and what you're building for the future, is it something that's sustainable, that feels like deeply aligned with your truth, so that you're making sure the actions that you decide to take now, knowing that, hey, maybe there will be some plans that you have based around this. Maybe you're going to say, okay, this is what I've birthed and I want to create for the future, but then we let it go a little bit. You know, it might not be exactly as we think it. And that's a good thing, because in that process, what we're doing when it's not exactly as we think, if we're staying aligned, is opening up for the divine to create with us and surprise us and bring in miracles and help us to stretch and grow in ways that we might not have without the divine's help or nudging. Um, okay, so yeah, importance of maintaining calm within your nervous system this month, taking time out. Also, being mentioned was the healing power of music and working with music for the month of May to help you, particularly with this side of the scale and the time out that we need, that more like reflective, the more kind of just like open womb, freedom, beingness space, accessing that and maybe working with music to see how that can bring you into even deeper clarity. And when we're there, this is like it's a non-being state that helps us to find our truth. It helps us to know what action to take. And there was a really important message this month of not acting before you're truly ready. Um, as well as trusting what movement is happening underneath the surface. Like if we think of a flower blooming, and this visual came through a few times, when we see a bud, they just look like this static little bud. But that bud has the divine and natural codes within it. And it's like there's movement that's happening. It's slowly opening up, or even when it's a seed, we don't really notice anything going on, but there are things happening always. There's divine timing, and there's a process that we can kind of lean back into. We don't have to figure all that out. We just have to stay in alignment. Um, so yeah, it's like how is divine intelligence in motion in your life, and where is it in motion that you might have kind of forgotten that it's happening there? If something seems kind of slow or stagnant, or you're like, why am I still dealing with this? Or I don't feel like working on the same issue again, or like I've manifested up the wazoo and done all the things, but my dream isn't really materializing. Why not? um, Particularly for any places that you're feeling similar to that in life, where can you kind of lean in? And maybe even sometimes I like to visualize. I mean, I can be like I lean towards clairvoyance and visioning and seeing, and so this works for me. But I like to envision, like I'm zooming in on aspects of my life. So something that seems like it has that tension for me of just like, why is nothing happening here? Or um, feeling like I need to act, particularly if something feels uncomfortable in my system, because you want to get out of that usually, but I don't always need to act. So I have this visual and I just kind of like zoom in and I say, all right, what's happening in there? Oh, okay, now I can see that that little petal is actually in motion and it doesn't look like it is. So I'm not going to force it. I'm not going to say I'm blooming when I'm not. I'm going to wait until the divine intelligence just moves this petal and opens it on its own, and it's like then the jewels are there. Then I have the clarity of um what's true, what's aligned, what's real. And then it's like I don't even have to effort for it. There's really, it's like a patience. But patience isn't even about waiting. It's just knowing that, hey, there's motion happening and let me honor where it is right now. Because otherwise, if we try to jump ahead or we act before we're ready, usually we start creating in our lives in a way that feels way out of alignment, throws us off. We might feel like we're going into more confusion or things don't work out more. So it's like, where have you already done enough? And where can you just trust that divine intelligence to bloom in you? Okay. now. So once we've kind of cultivated that space and found our truth, actually, before I say that, I want to say there was this message about how we probably will need a little bit of extra time to get clear in the month of May. I'm already seeing this for myself. Things aren't processing like as quickly, yet I feel the energy moving fast at the same time. So I've needed to create a little bit extra space for myself to allow that truth to emerge, to show itself, because it's all there inside me. It's I have this ever bloomed rose in my heart, right? Or like whatever visual works for you. We all have that within us, and it's it's what communicates to us that love and that truth and that guidance of how to act. And in order for that, like, we can't force the rose to bloom into waking life, or to like our physical human reality. We have to steward it. We have to give it what it needs in order to be able to emerge. It's this like the more divine feminine wisdom of that timing of growth, of blooming, of life, and those cycles. So, you know, there may be things to take into consideration of like, what do you particularly need this month to allow space for that? Not so much kind of like going at it from the mind, or even like shadow work necessarily. I mean, you could do either of those things, but the focus was kind of just creating spaciousness, allow some extra space for clarity to come, to yeah, like allow, I guess, these clear waters. um and this too, if you're someone who, well, like me, you're empathic, and if you're listening to this, I would imagine you probably are, or you work in the psychic a lot, or if you do any of like coaching or counseling, or you're supporting folks, um, there's also an extra focus this month of there's like an energetic surge that's allowing us to find more clarity. But at the same time, if we don't work with it, we can actually get more confused. So these clear waters, yes, they're here and they're available, but we have to work with them and give that kind of that spaciousness that I was talking about to allow things to clarify. We have to listen to kind of what we need to find that real clarity, the truth that's deep inside. Okay. Oh, right. No, I was going to say along those lines. Sorry. uh, Getting clarity on what is personal, what's collective is kind of up. I mean, that's for me, that's kind of always up, but it was brought up that there's like some extra energy with this getting clear that's available to us, and the creating spaciousness for truth and clarity to emerge, that there's a gift and a clarifying in the way that we kind of filter through. All right, this is my stuff, this is my friends, this is a projection, this is a judgment, this is, it's on the outside, it's on the inside, whatever. It's mental, it's from my heart, it's from my childhood, it's from the past life. Getting clarity on that, particularly when it comes to like personal, community, or collective. We have an extra surge of help with that. And again, if you aren't aware of it, it actually could confuse things more for you. But if you allow yourself to say, oh, right, okay, if something's coming in and it seems kind of chaotic where I like can't tell the difference between personal and collective or community or like what's my child's or my mom's or my partner's and what's mine, then read it as, oh, okay, right. There's a clarifying that's happening, and then just give yourself spaciousness to allow that clarity to start to form for you in a deeper way. So it probably won't seem so clear to begin with. Okay. Um, and I was hearing that the reminder in this energetic is a reminder of co-creating with the divine and not trying to, I suppose, like control or micromanage our lives, but to allow the divine to come in, you know? So it's like a deepening of our relationship with the divine that's available through this like clarifying energy that's showing up. So it wants us to um, basically it's like give space for the divine to emerge, gives which is you, which is me, which is like once we all decide from our sovereignty and from our power to give that spaciousness, then we're all guided a little bit deeper. It's like, okay, right, so I found that alignment to my heart, to the rose inside my heart, or I found my truth, and now I feel that divine and the way that it wants me to be in this like beautiful harmonic relationship with it, with which is like with you, with yourself, your deepest truest self, who you truly are, and with life. So we're harmonizing those as we do it, and we're learning how to co-create with the divine in a deeper way. And that's part of like what is being, it's like what the divine is singing us a song into. It's calling us into that. It's like, make space because I want to help you. I want to teach you how to make space for the divine to truly create from that place, because that's what all of us want, really. We don't want to like have some kind of safe micromanaged life where we don't get to really go to those deeper pulsating real places of truth and love and expansion and joy. And this is a month where we find our way on our own, you know, and we might even see like projections or just like differences or just new directions opening up, or they most likely they already did, but there's like some attention being called to it, and that's because it's calling us deeper again to our own truth. It's inviting us into that. How do we find that? And then the actions from that are almost they're flowing, you know, it's like surfing rather than having to figure it out. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Okay, yes, so going back to the action, the best use of this action-oriented energy this month. So I already talked about making sure we have spaciousness, taking time out, and then the other side of it, once we find that alignment and we know what action we want to move from, this is the best way to kind of organize this energy. But on the action side, we want to be moving from our heart. So heart-centered action and being bravely in our truth, speaking up even when it feels like scary, and not speaking up from a place of, because there's like a distinction in this where we're learning something, so it's not from like, oh, I'm speaking up because I've got to fight, or what else, what would be another example I'm trying to think of. Basically, the speaking has to come from our deep truth. It just is. It's something we find within, and we're like, okay, And it gives you this sense of like relief when you say it, even if it's like a hard truth to say. That's what's available to us this month. And it shouldn't feel like fight, flight, freeze, fawn, any of those nervous system responses. If you're speaking up and it's coming from there, um, just like work with it a little bit more. Take more time out. See if you can let it clarify and reveal itself, because there's probably a deeper layer of truth. But as you found it, there's like a really big importance of being able to bring it out, and this energy of bravely speaking, again, not from a place of just like or like fear, but from a just like this deep truth that has emerged in you. It just is. And when we've really found that place, it's a huge gift, not only to ourselves, but everyone around us in the world. And like, what if everyone was doing that? Even when things are challenging, you almost like you feel safe and steady and like content and patient and satisfied. It's like a fullness that exists within you, even with the motion of chaos in the world or things that are going on. Once you're in that place, like, yeah, it's a huge service. So where is that showing up for you? Okay. Yep. And so once we do take action, especially if it's bold action, especially if it's like you've created something new or you're stepping into something. We were talking earlier about that threshold energy that is here this month, stepping over a threshold. If that's happening to you, and you've taken that bold action that's coming from your heart, coming from your truth, you might feel shaky. Now, depending on like how bold the action is and how deeply rooted it is and how rooted in your truth and how different it is from maybe the past, like how much of a different harmonic or frequency you're stepping into, or new life, or just, yeah, that could have more potential to make you feel a little bit shaky. The message around this was just kind of to like, it's okay. You'll trust your footing as you go, and do your best to not read that as something is wrong, but it's just like, hey, I'm acclimating. I'm learning to trust my footing, breathe. There's always this like risk in life and in big changes. And if you've done your work, you've done your best and said, yeah, I've taken the time out. I've allowed my truth to emerge. I feel like this is the most aligned action. I'm coming from a place of alignment with that truth, alignment with that love, rather than needing to say like work out my wounds through my action, or like, feel okay by, which is like working out your wounds by enacting something in the world. um, I'm actually coming from a place of alignment, of that steadiness inside, and I'm just so excited to step forward into this. And there is like, if you're coming from that place, there's this gift that can come in it. Like, even though there is always risk and we don't know how the divine's going to move with us, but if we're really centered in that, it's almost like doesn't matter how it unfolds, because you know it will be for your best, and you trusted that you were meant to take that step that you did, no matter how it looks on the outside. It's like sometimes you really align to that deeper truth, you take an action, and it might seem like something fell apart, but it didn't really. It's just that was the process that you needed to go through, so we can like trust all of it, just stepping forward and trusting our footing if we've really aligned to our deeper truth. We might feel a little shaky. That's okay. It's okay. Um, okay. Um, so on the spirit of belting and divine union and the co-creation, there was this message about taking some particular attention to the masculine this month and the masculine holding in particular. Finding again right balance, as we were saying before, right balance between being and doing, between matter or human bodies and spirit, between masculine and feminine. So this one's like, how can we stay in the right balance for us between our masculine selves and tendencies and our feminine selves and tendencies, um, and harmonize them, like have them really working together. So that's what divine union is. And there is a little bit of an emphasis on the masculine this month. So we need the masculine to kind of keep things clear and to keep steady and to hold and to have like the integrity and for the action in the world. But if it gets out of balance, like I was saying earlier, like with action energy, then it's just it creates confusion, and it can spin us out in our nervous system. So we need the balance of like going within and reflective time, which is traditionally understood as like the more feminine expression of us. And I know for me, it's like easy to be in either track, but almost difficult to harmonize them or to like kind of switch from one to the other or or like have one lead, I suppose, and the other one to step back a little bit. Um, it feels so much easier just to be like, all right, completely release into the feminine, let it go, not have to worry about planning, or to like get on this kick of like, all right, plan it and action and this and what's the most like integrity filled way to hold this. So I could like spin out on either side. And the message this month was about like the right, again, kind of ingredients or amounts of each for you and harmonizing them, finding a way for them to work together and to see, to like look at that natural flow that you go between. Like, all right, I'm going to lean into action. I'm going to lean into rest. I'm going to lean into embodiment. I'm going to lean into planning. Um, Leaning into spirit or leaning into the material world, having them work together, and trust each other. When can we let that part of ourselves, like the masculine part, lead and hold? And how can we let the feminine lead? And seeing what that right relationship is. But there is this, again, bring attention this month to our masculine holding and being watchful of letting that action kind of spin out of control and overwhelm us, and needing to have it all figured out too is part of this. There's a message around this of like, just let your masculine hold. And again, it's like the spaciousness we were talking about earlier. That's kind of like the masculine holding too. It's like instead of saying what that truth is in the center that's going to emerge, we're just going to hold steady, trust, create space for that divinity, for the feminine aspect of us, that creative, free flowing, non-linear self to come through with the wisdom. And yeah, maybe shining a little bit of light and gratitude on our masculine selves and all the gifts that that brings, like what our masculine skills are, I suppose, and how they help us in life, and honoring them, you know, and honoring the way that they create space for that feminine intelligence to move through, to fill us up. Okay. Oh, yes. And there's a really big message with this that is kind of like a baby energy of a shift that I've been feeling for a while wants to emerge in our world, which is shifting away from competition and into more harmony and collaboration. And this is a tough one. It's like, even those of us who are like, have done our work, have showed up, um, years of personal growth work, like lots of self reflection and work and skill, and maybe we're even holding space for others. Even those of us can still have these layers in ourselves, or pieces of this like competition energy. And many things can happen around competition. Competition is kind of like a core word I'm using right now, but yeah, there's so many different expressions, ways it can show up as a human. But even for those of us who have done all that work, it's like there. There's something that wants to shift in the collective. And as we all do our small piece of it, then that bigger collective movement can happen. And then those folks, which honestly, like when I look out in the world, like we're kind of way off from like harmonized collaborative society where everyone we has value, and we acknowledge that, and we find a way that we can all work together, you know, and harmonize, right? Just like, but so part of the work that we are being invited into, if we should so choose, is to harmonize first within ourselves, harmonize the masculine and feminine within us, and then maybe see like what's coming up in relationship, or like where you have threads of competition, and how can those be in service, like how can you be fully in your own truth and your own brilliance, and not need it to be about being better or worse than someone else, or feeling like safe in that brilliance, and being able to witness someone else in their brilliance, and how do we all work together in that. So there's some stirring, and it isn't just for this month. It's a thing that I've seen growing for years now, honestly. But there are little pieces we get to work at as time goes on around this. And I would love to see more of that collaborative world. I want to create that. So, yeah, I'm showing up to that myself too. Hmm. So, okay, let me see if there's anything else here that I missed. Okay, two quick ones. So first, there was this message that came through about where can you project peace, and being mindful of this month, particularly distortions and projections. Not afraid, but mindful, just watching. So in yourself or in others, how might those be showing up? And these might be something that starts to give you more information about say like the competitive threads that you're working in yourself, or the ones that you don't need to work with necessarily, but you can be aware of and understand what's yours and what's not. So again, going back to that, getting clarity about what belongs to us, what doesn't, what's our role in everything, and feeling really great in that, feeling full in that, trusting it, and give, because we've given ourselves the time to be clear on that. So what distortions might be showing up to reveal that for us, or what projections might be showing up, whether we're doing that or feeling projected upon. Yes, and then as we go through that, this question of where can I project peace more? But only after you've come into that place of deep truth, like only once you've really found that rose in your heart, deep, true you. And then it's like I can put my energy out into the world. I can take my action. And part of the invitation that was here was, hey, we could all like project peace out into the world. We could all decide that. We could all say, hey, I'm going to put my energy in service to that at least. What if we did? What might we start to be able to shift and co-create together with that? Okay. And this second and last message here was about seeing yourself in different situations and lights. This goes back to the kind of stewarding your truth. But there might be situations that come up where it's like you see yourself in a new light, or it's like, oh, I feel really different over here with this person as opposed to this person. What comes out of me over here and what comes out of me over there? There's just going to be like content for us to get new reflections so that we can ultimately stay true to the divine in us, that pure good that exists within us no matter what, it's there. And we're being called this month deeper into that. And if situations come up that give you like a new perspective on yourself, yeah, celebrate it, welcome them, and see what you can do to alchemize that into more truth, into coming deeper into that good that's in you. Okay, so that is it for today. Thank you so much for joining. I'm, as always, really grateful and appreciative of your time and attention, and I hope that everything that came forward today supports you in the month ahead and beyond. May it all be offered in service to your beautiful blooming light and path. And it's really also wonderful and helpful and supportive if you like, share, subscribe. I'm working on it. Some of you might have seen on Instagram, I'm a little bit more present. I'd kind of written it off for a while, but I am again working on being steady over there. And then YouTube is a natural second, it's a place that I'll be putting my energy to expand my reach. But I really would love if you could help me in that so that we can share some of these messages and hopefully support other folks. Thank you. Have a beautiful May, a wonderful Beltane, and stay true to your heart. Blessings.